We are here with Dr. Joe Martin at FunctionBetter Physical Therapy. And basically, we're just going to find out, how Dr. Joe scheduled 90 patient evaluations through our system in 90 days.
30 days.
In 30 days, sorry. So, Dr.
Yes.
Joe, I'll just let you, take over from here and tell us about your experience working with us your first month.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been, I get excited every time I get to talk to you, Edric, because, you've been a game changer in my practice, and I'm very grateful. I like to start out with that, I've been looking, honestly, for 10 years for someone who was exceptional with online advertising, whether it's Google pay-per-click, Facebook ads, YouTube, social media, no matter what it is. I've been looking for about 10 years, spent thousands of dollars, and came up with almost nothing from some of these electronic advertising companies that promise you the world. And maybe there's good intentions, but their skills aren't there. I can tell you this, Edric, medical patient referrals, your skills are there. And the cool thing is you don't have to talk or say anything because your results speak for themselves. And when you give people results, they're really not spending any money. So I tell everybody, even on my success calls, I tell all these physical therapists, you are the needle in the marketing haystack. So thank you for what you've done for my practice. We are already a very reputable 6-location outpatient physical therapy practice. We've been in business since 2002. So we already have a lot of referrals that come in word of mouth. We have a great reputation on the street. But your company and your systems have allowed me to scale, especially in the wake of a pandemic. And then we're looking forward to working with you for years following this pandemic so that we can scale our business. Awesome.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. Let's talk about post COVID. What happened when that happened to your clinic? Like what happened to your numbers and what you saw?
Great. So we were considered an essential business, and through a lot of strategizing and thinking and soul searching, and looking at my entire company, the number of staff that I have, the number of people that are supporting their families, and with all the bills that they have, we made a decision to stay open and follow CDC guidelines and all the proper techniques and forms, and we kind of overdid it just to make a statement and to make sure that we are ensuring the safety of our staff and our employees. But long story short, we stayed open, and we went down to about 40% capacity from what we had been doing previously to COVID-19. And now mostly in the last 30 to 45 days, we've jumped right back up again. People are getting used to being back out in the community. People are still hesitant, and we are still being very diligent with our procedures.
Right.
But we are ramping up, and your systems have probably shortened the amount of time that it's going to take us to get back to all cylinders, probably shorten the time by about 90 days. So that's pretty significant, very impactful. Now is a perfect time for people to get on a call with you and just get started, period. With the number of leads that you have coming in, you just got to get started. But, there's a lot of skeptical PTs out there. And rightfully so. I told you from day one I was skeptical of you as well, because we get bombarded with a whole bunch of different online advertising companies that seem to have the solution to save the world in the PT industry. And so I understand people's skepticism. If I can reduce that skepticism and help as many colleagues in my industry as possible, that's my goal. And I want to help you too, Edric, because you've helped me so much, and you're true to your word. And that is very difficult to find in this marketing industry. Everybody's got the magic solution, and they talk a lot about it. but you just do it. So that's, you know, that's kudos to you, man. You guys do a great
Appreciate it.
job.
I wanted to ask you, like, in terms of like you've done like other Facebook types forms of advertising before. I think you told me that you spent a lot of money on direct ads. Is that right, to grow the clinic?
That's correct. I've actually spent over $50,000 over the last, I don't know for sure, but it's been probably 7 years, but $50,000. And I do a good job of branding and getting my name out there, and a lot of people know me, and my ads look good, and they probably silently bring people in eventually. People see
Right.
me so many times and see our company so many times, they end up coming in. But never tangible leads that make my phone ring off the hook like your systems have. And I had the other thing I think is amazing is your CRM, your data capture, knowing when these leads are coming in, exactly what you're doing. The CRM allows us to, and PTs are natural documenters. So the ability to document every encounter with a lead as soon as they come in, from the time they come in for, say, a free pain screening examination to the time they actually get converted to a new evaluation and a treatment plan, to the time down the road they're discharged, we can go back and look at revenue from that particular lead that came 45 days earlier, and we can see right in front of us the tangible comprehensiveness of your CRM, which is great for us. I mean, when the biggest thing for me, I'm a black and white simplicity kind of guy. I want to know what I spent with you, Edric, and I want to know what you brought into me from a profit standpoint. And it's very easy with your CRM system.
Okay, so I mean, like 80 scheduled evals, how much is that in terms of like reimbursement, like just being conservative? How much projected revenue in 30 days for you guys?
Okay, so with incomplete information right now, just because we are, we haven't collected all the data yet in terms of revenue, but estimates, and I will tell you, so I was at 91 scheduled patients as of this morning, actually 92 as of this morning, and it's day 32. So that's an update for you. Out of 92, we use the free pain screening exams. It's a great way for your, physical therapist to get in front of the public and spend 30 quality, high value minutes, which they don't get in the medical field anywhere else. So it's important to get those 91 scheduled new patients for these screening exams. We are converting my staff, kudos to my staff and the culture that we have, no high pressure sales, but they're probably converting right now on average 80 to 85% of the people that come in for screening. So if we're doing that and you are getting rid of, let's call it 70 patients out of 90. Okay, so let's say 65, 70 patients out of 90. Any physical therapist out there that understands billing knows what their average revenue per visit is, and they also know what a typical episode of care will come out to be from a value standpoint, from a financial standpoint. Now, in different regions of the country, the fee schedules are different. For instance, I could go to a state like Michigan, and they may get paid 2.5 to 3 times what we get paid in upstate New York. So for me in particular, you're talking probably in the vicinity of a 75, 80, 85 to $95,000 return on about a $2,500 investment for me.
Wow.
If I don't stay with you for the next 10 years, I'd be crazy. I don't know anybody that's getting that kind of return.
Right.
So that's incredible. And I have since scaled up. Midway through, your results were so good, I start saying, hey, let's do another campaign. Let's scale it up. I want to spend more money. When you're making that kind of return in your expertise, you come to me and you say, Joe, this is the campaign campaign, this is the results that you have now for this ad spend. How much are we spending on ads in the campaign per day? And if you want double the patients, you double the ad spend. That was a pretty specific recommendation. And so I went with it because I built trust with you, Edric. And when I trust somebody and you show me tangibly that your system is working, why would I not put more money on that horse? You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
how does it feel to know that, hey, every single day I'm getting new opportunities, I'm getting new calls, I never have to rely on referrals. I can be the one that sends referrals to doctors and build that relationship. Like, how does that feel to know that, you know, you have a system that generates patients and generates leads like consistently?
You know, you touch on a very good point, and I'll tell you why. Because in our industry, we are constantly struggling with physician-owned practices and, you know, in cement relationships. It's difficult to get patient referrals, and a lot of practices across the country are struggling with that, especially, you know, from day one, 2002, when I opened my practice, I'm a natural marketer, salesperson. Most PTs are not, and that's not a, you know, and that's not a knockdown to my fellow colleagues. People will admit they're just not salespeople. They're not marketing people, and that's why they struggle. They're great at skills. They're probably great, compassionate people, but when it comes to marketing, they're not really sure what to do. And I've always been 95 to 98% consumer-directed marketing. This takes any practice to the next level. And one of the things it does is, you know, we know that anybody who has low back and sciatica, the number one profession that they go to first is a chiropractor. Well, let me tell you something about the field of physical therapy. And there's a lot of great chiropractors out there, and that's great for them. But for my industry, my fellow colleagues, physical therapists, we know what we do with back pain and sciatica. We are very, very effective for those conditions. Why don't we have more of those patients coming to us first? Well, your system does that for us. Your system put, I would say, out of the 91 scheduled patients that you sent me in 32 days, I would say 60 to 65 of those were from back pain and sciatica. It's a very prevalent condition, and that's why I advertise for that, because you have a big pool of people that need you and don't have answers anywhere else. They've been to other professions and they haven't gotten better. We have that magic technique, so to speak, in our physical therapy industry, but we've got to get them through the door. And that's why your system takes the PT industry and elevates our numbers, helps us scale our practices. You know, when you're worried about getting 8 or 10 evals in a week, and we work with you, and all of a sudden you're getting an extra 30 or 40 evals a week, that's incredibly game changing for a physical therapy practice, whether you're one clinic or you're multiple clinics.
Right. I mean, would you like to talk a little bit more about like your scheduling process and how you approach these leads and like the quality of these leads and what you say to maybe help some of the other physical therapists, you know, have an idea of, you know, how you've seen so much success with our systems?
A couple of key features, and everybody out there is different, but I'm going to tell you how I'm successful, whether someone wants to replicate that or emulate that or hire somebody to be able to do what I do. But I am on leads when they come in. If I wait 10 seconds to answer a lead as soon as it comes in, that's too long, in my opinion. When leads are hot, you got to get them when they're hot. You can't wait 3-4 days to follow up with a handful of leads. You have to treat each lead like it's your last referral. That's me. That's the business side of me. And that's the customer service side of me. People want attention. If they're going to invest their time to click on your ad, then you better have somebody available, a real person that's knowledgeable, that's compassionate, and that is ready to help them. And if you don't, then you're going to waste so many leads and so much revenue. So that's my process. So I get a hold of people immediately. I answer them immediately. If I'm driving down the road, I'm pulling over into a parking lot, pulling out my schedule, putting my hotspot on, and I'm getting them on the schedule. And if I'm in a situation where I just absolutely can't, I call them anyway, and I say, listen, I am in a position right now that I would pull up the schedule, but I just can't right this second, but I'm not going to make you wait. Let me get my office manager for my Yorkville site on the line right now to make sure you get an appointment. Because if you wait for me, it may be a couple hours, and I don't like that. We're gonna get you scheduled right away. So that's how I attack. That's how I attack leads.
Right.
Number two, remembering some of the most basic things in the world. People are looking for caring, compassionate, skilled, and generous and genuine people to talk to, experts to talk to. I hear it all the time. When I talk to patients, I don't have a time limit for the phone call. I just let the phone call take us where it goes. I listen intently. I try to understand the patient or prospective patient's pain. And I don't just mean physical pain. What are their pains? How are their lives affected? What can't they do? What do they wish they could do? Why haven't they done anything in 5 years? Or why haven't they taken care of their pain in 17 years? They've been dealing with chronic pain. It's unbelievable the stories you get out of people. And PTs know what I'm talking about. The same thing in an evaluation. But people are looking for care. And if you spend a little bit of time with them, they're like, I never got any of this in the medical field. You're the CEO of the company and you're calling me on a Sunday afternoon. That sits well with people. They say, well, why do you do that? I said, well, because I'm still, even though I'm the CEO of a big company now, I'm still a human being and I care about my patients. I came into this profession because I love people and I want to take care of people. And you're no different. I'm 23 years into practice and you're no different than the thousands of patients that I've treated in the past. My job and my intent is to get my patients and these prospective patients on the right path. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to come into one of my facilities, see one of my staff members, and be given this big sales pitch. Some people aren't going to start in physical therapy right away. You know, we still do appropriate screening and appropriate advisement. 99% of the people need us. For that 1%, 2%, we are referring them to a specialist or we are doing something else in the plan of care. You're not ready for us yet. We'd love to have you come back, but the correct path is X or Y or Z. And they appreciate your honesty and they appreciate you being a good human being. So for the companies out there that treat leads like another number or another visit or another scheduled appointment, starting off the wrong way. Treat people like human, give them genuine care and your time. I always say, my favorite saying is lose yourself in your patient. Okay, so I just forget the world around me and I listen to what the patient is saying. And it goes a long way. It really does. And I have a lot of really great, compassionate, skilled, but compassionate, good people in my company. And that's what converts pain screens into full-fledged, full examination patients who want to come back for years to come. So.
I see. That's incredible advice. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Is there anything else that you want to tell like anyone watching this or that needs help with their business or like direction and like how to grow? Like anything else you would recommend or say?
One of the things I would recommend is pay attention to what is customer facing, like your ad. What does your ad say? Be involved with EDRIC to come up with the right formula for you. How do you want your practice represented? I use video. I actually have immediate access to a very professional videographer. He actually is my son, and he's done very well for us projecting. Because remember, before you get patients in the door, something has to give them a little bit of trust in you. And when they see a professional video versus, something that's just kind of thrown on there and it looks like a generic ad, I actually do sell videos. I sell pain screening videos. I sell back pain and sciatica videos just because it's kind of a networking with my son. But it helps everybody. Everybody involved wins because patients get a clear picture of what you're offering and what you're about. The PT practices, have that professional image. And of course, you, Edric, being the advertising expert, it helps you too because your clients are going to be more, successful. Your PT practices are going to be more successful, and they're going to want to stay with you. Even though you gave me 91 leads, I know there's practices out there that don't convert 20 people. And it really is all in how you approach leads and how you nurture them. And they're all people with problems that we can fix. So that's kind of the bottom.
That's awesome, Dr. Joe. Yeah, I really loved hearing your story about how you've been successful, and I'm so glad I found you. You keep saying that you're grateful for me, but I'm grateful I found you as well, because you're literally the client, the perfect client. Your business is on point, your employees are on point, your systems, your processes, your mindset, like everything about your clinic was already like, it was our basically our ads were just rocket fuel, like just what you needed to grow, so I'm grateful for you as well.
It is. And when people ask for, hey, can I have the magic script that Dr. Joe Martin uses? Can I have his system? I can't say this enough. It just comes back to being a good, genuine human being and caring about people. I don't write things down. I let each conversation take its own path. And the one common ingredient that we have, Edric, in your company, medical patient referrals, which is why I think that we bond so well, is because you and I are both good people who want to help people, bottom line. Who doesn't want to make a lot of money, right? We have to make money. This is what we do. That's America. That's the world. It's the economy. You want to make good money. You want to be successful in business. But at the bottom line, we're working with people and we're helping with people and we're giving our gifts to people. Your gift is brilliant strategy that helps people help people. So if you think about it, you're an advertising specialist, but what you're doing is you're basically bringing people of the community into physical therapists who are in turn changing their lives. So that's got to make you feel good. So we make a lot of money. Like we want to make money, but I want to serve people. So working with you helps me reach more people, maybe not directly, but indirectly. And that makes my heart happy because you got to be fulfilled in life.
Right.
So it's not about the money. It's about changing lives and being impactful. So, and I think you and I both share that ingredient, which is very important. So I'm very grateful for our relationship, and I'm glad we met.
Perfect. Is there anything else that maybe someone who's watching this is like, they're on the fence, they don't know if they can trust our company, they don't know if they can trust our guarantees? Anything you have to say about that aspect?
I would tell, like I started out in the beginning saying, I understand people's skepticism because there's a lot out there and people don't know me. The people watching probably don't know me. So how can they trust me? But I will tell you this, you are free to give my cell phone number, my personal number, and people can call me day or night, and I will explain to them why they need to start investing in your company yesterday if they want new patients. Wow. They don't want new patients or they don't have the capacity, then don't call me. But I will tell you, if you talk to me on the phone, you will be sold. You will be sold. You will be sold. And when you believe in what you're selling, like if you didn't get me good results in my 32-day campaign, it's hard for me to sell to people. But I know it's honest and it's good sales because I know I'm helping them. They don't know yet. They may be skeptical, but I know that I'm selling value to them and they're colleagues of mine. And I care a lot about my industry. I care a lot about my colleagues. I care a lot about physical therapists and how we're represented in the world around us. And so I would not be working with you if you were bringing some shyster program to my fellow physical therapists. So they can call me anytime. Edric, give my phone number out, put bells and whistles on it, say call Joe day or night, Saturday, Sunday, whatever you want. I'd be glad to talk to anybody.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Joe. I know that most physical therapists, the only way that they rely on patients is just like word of mouth and just waiting around for people to call them, or trying like posting like images, posting stuff on Facebook and Instagram. I mean, what do you think about that strategy? Is that effective as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, like just waiting for people to come in and see you?
That is not how any other business in America operates. We are kind of in a crazy profession because we kind of are at the will of referring providers, but we don't have to be. We are a doctoring profession with enormous neuromusculoskeletal skills, and we are trying so hard to be an autonomous profession that we need to be autonomous. And being autonomous and standing on your own 2 feet means go get your business. Go get it. Don't wait. No business can wait. You don't wait for somebody to walk in your door. You have to bring them in. And then when you bring them in, if you're selling an old used car with problems, then you're not going to last. But if you're selling value, be proud of that value and bring them in. So you need an advertising genius like yourself. I don't have time to become an advertising genius. I have a lot of knowledge with marketing and consumer directed marketing and speaking to people's emotions and all that kind of stuff. But I have nowhere near the skills that I would need to do what you're doing. And the other thing I would say is, for all the referral sources out there that'll tell a patient, no, I don't want you to continue physical therapy, come into my physical therapist, things like that. We have to put an end to that. And the way to put an end to that is to go out and take what's ours, because we know that we are helping all these people with neuromusculoskeletal conditions. We're very effective. And the one thing I'm proud of in physical therapy is that, at least I'd like to think, that the majority of my colleagues are not stringing people along. They're teaching them to be independent. They're empowering them with knowledge. They're looking at patients as a whole person and not just a knee injury or hip injury. They also have diabetes. They also love to go camping. That, treating a patient as a whole person, you form a connection. And we're one profession that does that really well. But people don't know about it unless they get in with us. Now, there are some bad impressions that PTs have made out in the field, and that is seeing 3 or 4 or 5 people at the same time, handing them a sheet of paper and then walking away and not seeing them again until you're saying goodbye out of the clinic. When patients get that kind of experience, they don't perceive value. So, and then they can project that. They can, the broad brush generalization, the physical therapy industry, you go in, you get stick figure exercises, and the therapist walks away, or he or she is working with 4 or 5 patients at a time. There's no value in that, in my opinion. Okay, some people may think they're okay handling 4 or 5 patients. We don't. We're a completely one-on-one company, and we believe in the patient experience. And, the only way you give them a wholesome experience is to give them your dedicated time for that entire visit. So a whole bunch of, we could go on to several different videos and talk about technique and approach and all that kind of stuff. But your system is definitely something will help someone scale quickly.
I see. If someone like needs like your help, your expertise, like they want to learn how you run your business, your mindset, how you build this successful practice, how can they reach you? Like what's the best way for them to get in contact with you if they want your help, your consulting, your advice?
They can go to just to kind of say, okay, what's this guy about? They can go to my website, FunctionBetter.com, kind of see what my current operation is like. They can also go to our FunctionBetter Physical Therapy Facebook page and see some of the videos that I'm talking about, the professional videos that they could actually have at their fingertips to represent themselves online. I think video, a really professional video online, it attracts people. It just does. And I'm speaking from experience. And the other way is my personal cell phone, and it's 315-525-6860. I'm always up for a conversation. I also am available to go across the country and help people open practices, help people market practices. I do consulting. I've been in the business for a very, very long time. I don't practice anymore. I'm strictly overseeing operations and management, marketing, staffing, all that kind of stuff, and building and growing and scaling the business. So I have a lot of flexibility where I can go and work with people. Just like I work with patients one-on-one, I can work with businesses one-on-one to ensure their success.
Wow. Awesome. Maybe we'll have you on another episode, where we talk about, maybe how you grew your practice during the beginning and discuss some of that and see if, people might be interested in that. I'm not sure if that's something you'd be interested in, but
Edric, any idea you have, I'm interested in. So we'll have a good time with it. Because again, everybody wins, right?
Exactly.
You're bringing me on. I'm an expert. You get me on your show. I get to collaborate with you, talk to other practice owners, and then overall, in the end, patients are going to benefit no matter what. Whatever we do together, patients are going to benefit in the end, and that's the whole goal.
Perfect. All right, Dr. Joe. I loved having you on this interview. Thank you so much for, I guess, talking about your success and how you saw so much success with our program. And I look forward to our next call together. Maybe we can come up with some new ideas to show the PT industry what they can do to grow their practice immediately and as quickly as possible.
I'm on board with anything you want to do. Thank you very much for having me. I'm grateful to just enjoy talking with about my industry. I'm at the end of, not at the end of my career, but at the end of my practicing career. So it's pretty sentimental to me too. So I care about my profession. That's the bottom line. I care about my colleagues and I care about patients. So how can I still fulfill that place in my heart doing things like this?
Right.
Helps me stay fulfilled. So thank you. Appreciate it.
All righty. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Take care.
Take care, Idris.